when I came here, it was in 1970, and we were dairy farming, milking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a morning and night job, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Christmas Day. It's a full-time job. So
Because it has to be done.
it has to be done, yeah. So it was hard enough. Now, the hours were long. You didn't have very much of a social life in the evening because sometimes, even though the cows were brought in early and the milking started, sometimes there'd be something would crop up, and if you had something planned for that night, you'd have to just forget about it. You had just to realise that work as a partnership. I found in the early days that you would never have a holiday because the milking had to be done, and it was very difficult to get someone to stand in and milk for you. Yes, nowadays you have people who do that.
Yeah.
Yes, but in those days you hadn't. So we would get a couple of days off the children, and we had someone, a very reliable person, who would cover for us, but it was only for a few days.
Well, whenever I moved up here, like I didn't have any experience of farming,
Mm-hmm.
and at that stage Kevin would have been milking as well.
Yeah.
And like I came up here, I was 23 years of age, and now here longer than I ever was at home.
Really?
So I would never go back to it, but it was quite a contrast in that there's a lot more houses now than there was then, and to look out, you could see it was pitch black.
That's right.
It was.
That was the same for me.
Yeah.
No houses.
And like that, Kevin would have been going over early to do the milking, and he would then go on to his own job, and
That's right.
I would have my own job, and then you come back and the milking would have to be done in the evening. So you could get till 8 o'clock in the evening and you mightn't have seen a sinner soul if you didn't get involved in the farm. And I think that's what drives a lot of people to get out and do something, because you're not a lot of use sitting in the house. If there's work to be done, you're better, getting involved, and then that's how the children get involved from an early age.
We used a lot of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we grew our own vegetables. And
That's right.
we had our own potatoes. And
Very
we
self-sufficient.
had our own milk, so
That's right. Yeah.
it was a big thing that when you had a big family.
So it was always something to do. Yeah. Always busy.
Did you kill pigs on the farm?
We did.
Yeah.
Well, a few pigs, so it was like
Yes.
we had a place called the pig house
Right.
and the turkey house.
All right.
Very
the dwelling
self-sufficient. Yeah.
house. Yeah.
Whenever I got married, we got a wedding present of 7 hens in a hen house. And I have never looked after hens before. And that was the first thing that struck me when you go over to feed them. They would just come at you. It was just like food. I didn't realise just how greedy they can be. They just keep at you and at you and at you. Yeah. Yeah, I had a notion of this leisurely stroll and hens all around you nicely. Didn't expect it to be just so vicious. But they didn't. Well, we called them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. That was their names, and they lasted probably about 3 months before the fox got them.
In my work, I had a lot of cooking to do, and meals to make for men who were working on the farm. I seemed to be making a lot of meals, especially at the time when the silage would be done, and I was working as well. At that time, the dinner, as we call it, the main meal, that was always in the middle of the day, 1 o'clock dinner. Nowadays, some people have dinner in the evening, they call it. It's an evening meal and it's lunch in the middle of the day, but in those days it was dinner, and it was a full dinner to have. And no matter who was working at the house, they got their dinner as well. So it was, you never know, you could have had more than you expected for the dinner on certain days.
Still continues.
It does.
It still continues. I would make a joke in our house, because the only 2 days that the dinner would be made in the middle of the day would be a Saturday and a Sunday at 1 o'clock on the dot, and because we would have several people working around, you never quite knew how many was going to turn up. So I used to say to Kevin, well, should go down the road there and see if you can find anybody else to come. Surely there's a big pot of stuff here. You can bound find somebody who wants their dinner.
Bridie, you'd remember the tea in the field.
Yeah.
And it would be in a bottle, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a child I can remember getting that, and it just was lovely. The tea, it just tasted lovely when you got it out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
It was a picnic, but you didn't know it was a picnic because you were working. It's easier now in a way because the machinery is so advanced.
And the washing machine was the biggest thing that ever I got. And it was
Yes.
a twin tub.
Yes.
Oh yes, that's the one, the lids at the
tubs.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you put them in to wring
One.
them out. It
Yes.
was a mango thing.
That's right, mango, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah.
Well, that's probably why
Oh,
we never.
But we never got the water in 1970.
Yeah,
And we had the farm for a long time.
yeah.
So then when you got the water in, how much easier did that make life for you?
It made it an awful lot easier.
I would say.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to go out and carry it from the well
Mhm.
and fill up a boiler and put it on the cooker for washing.
Yes.
And I'd always wash the baby's clothes first.
It's
Yes.
lovely to see a line of nappies blowing in the wind. I
Yeah.
always thought that was nice, you know.
Yeah, whereas now it's all
There's no-
disposables.
Yes,
There was no
it was hard work, of course,
disposable.
more work.
not besides that.
Yeah, but then like the downside of the disposables is yes, it makes life easier for you, but it's far more expensive
That's right, that's
to
right,
keep it going.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you imagine you had what 12 children. Imagine 12 of them in disposables. You would never been able to afford it. So your nappies would have been good. Like in contrast, like you have 12 kids, I have 2. You know, so I know myself that them growing up, it was more expensive. You know, and all. Not that that made any difference.
But the machines they're so advanced now, aren't they?
They're much bigger.
Check, yeah.
Yeah. But they're more dangerous.
Right, again, I still find it a little bit stressful, you know, when they're at silage or spreading slurry, it's the atmosphere of work that's around you, you know, and you don't relax until it's all over.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
still have that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think because farms now are bigger and they're more, it's more about, they have to be more efficient. They have to be more, there's more, what would you call it, rules and regulations
That's
to follow.
right. Oh, yeah.
So they are feeling it stress. And I know for us, because we're both out working during the day, like so it's management of time, it's trying to get it fitted in and everything around it and still be able to go to your job and still be able to get things
It's
done.
hard to work and do all that.
It is because you're always
Surely.
it's done after hours, so you know it's not that you've got all day to get it done.
Yeah.
You're trying to fit it in a window.
At least that time women stayed at home and
Yeah, well,
they had there's nothing else for you. You had to stay at home, so that's the way you put in your day. And
I don't know that. I know that time has made things easier, but it hasn't. There still is it still involves a lot of hard work.
especially when you're going out to work as well.
Yes.
yeah.
I
Yes.
think that would be the biggest difference.
Yes. Well, it's not that just every day is available that you can just say, okay, so today we're going to do this. Nowadays, what we would do is what you're doing Monday to Friday is just your basics, getting it done, what needs to be done. Saturday and
It's a
Sunday
busy
is the
day,
big day.
yes.
Saturday is the huge day.
A busy day. Yeah.
Everything that has to be done would be put to that Saturday because that's the only day that you have that you can, you know,
That
give
everybody's
up.
off.
Everybody's off, and
Yes.
that's when you get the help. Like with us now, it's got to be well, you know,
Plan ahead. You have to
you're
plan
always
ahead.
planning ahead.
Always.
Yeah, and getting all your jobs done. You have to
Think ahead.
organise
all the time,
it.
don't
Like
you?
for if we have a TB test or something done,
Yeah.
we're trying to plan it for the Halloween holidays
That's
because
right.
there'll
When
be
people are off,
more
yeah,
help.
People are free.
You know. In your day, would you have the same level of stress? Would you know?
But I don't think so.
No.
Somehow you just took it all in your stride, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was what you did, and you got up every day and did it. And
And kind of everybody was the same, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And so did you think that the fact that you were like carrying water and having to say go after the turkeys and all that work, but did it keep you mentally saner?
I suppose it did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were always thinking of what you had to do next.
And you were fitter too, weren't you?
Yeah,
People
you
were riding
I
bicycles
think
that
that's the
time.
thing.
Yeah.
You could,
You didn't have to go to a
you
gym.
could fly
that time.
about that.
That's right.
I
You
can't
could-
fly about now.
Well, you can fly about fairly well,
Yeah.
indeed.
You
Or
can just
cycle.
walk to the dances and walk
Yeah.
home again.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you walked there, danced and walked home again.
and cycled, and the dances were late. They were on to 2 o'clock in the morning in those days. When I was-
That's very late.
No, but you mean from 9 o'clock, let's say 10 o'clock.
Yes.
It started to 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whereas
You would have danced
nowadays
all night.
they're only really getting
You
started
only
at
got
that stage
started
of the
at
game.
half 11 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was good. But
No,
people carried
all
and
it was
visited,
that time.
didn't they?
In the dance hall was a cup of tea. The woman across the
Yeah.
road would make a cup of tea, and somebody treated for a cup of tea. It wasn't a drink for having.
Yes.
Oh, no, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be drinking, no. But people carried a lot, you know.
Yeah, they did.
And that has all kind of stopped now with
Yeah.
You mean what, visited each other?
Visited each other, yeah, they went on their
Yeah,
Cayley.
so a woman said that to me
And
there
that's-
not long ago. She says, gosh, she's in the house on her own, and she says, not one ever calls.
That's right, that
the
would be
door.
right,
So
yeah. Mm.
She says it's such change.
It is,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well I would say that too, because whenever I come up here I didn't know anybody, you know, and so you had to get out and meet people and, you know, that's where
It
I
was
think...
lonely coming from a town, wasn't it?
Yes, it was different, like, you know, and because I was used to always being at work, or, you know, whenever I was at work, I would come home, I would work to my father's video shop, so like we would have been working to 10 o'clock at night, but there was always people to talk to. So then to come up here and you don't know anybody, you had to make a physical effort to go out.
Must be.
So
I find the same. When I came here, it was very, very quiet. You know, there nobody came to see you. You had to go
Yeah.
out, as you said. I had to do that too.
yeah, well that's why I think that the wall centre that we have is a great job, because you're going there and you meet like-minded people, and they're always running courses, so you always find something
That's right,
that interests
that's
you,
right, that's
and then from that you meet people, and it just broadens.
I play cards on a Sunday night. Just
And is that like a stress buster? You go out to play cards, or just with...
no, but well, you're with the same people every
Yes,
Sunday
yeah.
night, you know.
Yeah, so you're a bit of company.
And yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that used to happen a lot in the older days. You know, people had cards. It still happens here, I think.
I think it does, but I definitely think
Yeah.
families are more. It's more about getting in and sitting down and closing the door, and
Yeah,
you know, maybe more in the
Watching
ro-
television.
that's what.
Yes, watching TV. That's the
has
downtime.
killed all the conversation,
Yes.
hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it has. Even with children too. And you'll find now children.
And the phones.
Yes, oh yes. The farm was a good place for children to grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
boys
what
especially.
the nun said to me. She said, like, they feel part of the life, you know,
Yes, yes.
because they're involved in it.
Yeah.
They all have their jobs to do, like.
Yes. Yeah.
And they can
But
learn.
it's a great responsibility. It teaches them to take responsibility for things. But with all this here, they have to problem solve, because they have to think on their feet, and all the things, you know, they learn what comes next, and or second guess if something goes wrong. So I think it's a great life lesson. You know, they've learned a lot without even realising that they're learning it.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
And like they see the cows calving and
Yeah, I had never seen a cow calve until I came to live on the farm. That was an experience.
If you were to give advice to somebody starting out, say just coming to live on a farm, what advice would you give them from what you've learned in your time?
Well, as I said, it is a partnership. You know, you'd have to, you know, give a bit of leeway. You just have to work together and be prepared for disappointments, because you will get disappointments.
Yeah.
You might have something planned, and something could happen on the farm, or you might have to get a vet for an animal, and you might have to scrap that.
Well, if I was to give advice to somebody starting out, like when I did, I would just say, worry less and laugh more, because
True, yeah.
it all works out in the end.
It does.
You know, and you're only making life difficult for
That's
yourself.
right.
You only fight against yourself. So
That's what None that I worked with, and she used to say that. She used to say, people worries about things, and everything's going to work
That's
out in the
right.
end.
yeah, well, I think really the things we have to worry about we haven't even thought of yet, and the things that we're worried about
Doesn't happen.
doesn't happen at all. So there's no point worrying about them. So I just wish I'd learnt that a
Yes,
little bit
yeah.
earlier.
I had 36 great grandchildren.
And how?
New generations.
So what advice would you give them?
Huh?
What advice would you give them?
They don't listen to me.